This is KGW News at Sunrise.
Hey, good morning. Thanks for getting up with us on this Saturday morning. I'm Tim Gordon. This morning on Sunrise, signs of hope in the pandemic. The tide may be turning in the Omicron variant surge. What that could mean for kids wearing masks in school. And Timbers player Andy Polo is fired from the team after he's accused of abusing his former partner. What the team knew about the allegations. But before we get to all that, let's check in with Chris McGinnis for a quick look at the Saturday forecast. Chris?
Tim, did you like that 67 yesterday?
Oh, it was amazing.
You want to do it again?
Why not?
All right, we're
Let's
on.
do it.
But first, we're waking up to temperatures this morning in the upper 30s, so it has cooled off a little bit. 39 last check at PDX, 32 in Hillsboro. Ooh, that's a little nippy out there, right? Speaking of nippy, we hop over to the eastern part of the state. It's 11 right now in Baker City. You will warm today. There's bright sunshine in the forecast for all of us, but also a little breezy. Check this out. This is a live look from Yaquina Bay in Newport, and you can see the boats bopping in the breeze, the camera bopping around a little bit, the water a little rough as well. East breeze is pretty strong today on the east side of the metro area and along parts of the Oregon coast, and it is that east breeze which is helping to really keep us quite mild with our forecast today. In fact, record warmth again. If we hit that 65 this afternoon, which I think we will, that'll break the old record of 63 set back in 2015. So lots of sun in the forecast, 50s, that's our average high, by the way. We're going to be there by lunchtime, and I've got us in the mid 60s again this afternoon. Tim?
All right, Chris. Thank you very much. Talk to you soon. Well, happening today, a memorial service for a volunteer firefighter in St. Paul. 30-year-old Austin Smith was killed by an explosion while fighting a large barn fire last week. Smith began as a firefighter with the department in 2015. Now his family has been in that area for generations. In fact, they helped found the St. Paul Rodeo. Well, today at 10:15, a procession for Smith will travel from Woodburn to the rodeo grounds. Much of the route is along Highway 219. Organizers are expecting several hundred emergency vehicles to take part, so expect some travel delays in the area. The memorial service is open to the public and will start at 1 p.m. Again, it's taking place at the St. Paul Rodeo Grounds. You can also watch a live stream on KGW.com and on our YouTube page. Well, let's talk some welcome news on the pandemic front this morning. The COVID-19 surge driven by the Omicron variant appears to be losing momentum. Oregon State epidemiologist Dr. Dean Seidlinger says newly diagnosed cases of COVID have fallen 71% from the peak just a few weeks ago. Test positivity is declining, and daily COVID-related hospitalizations appear to have peaked. Meanwhile, Oregon's mask mandate will be lifted at the end of March for both public indoor spaces and schools. But when it comes to schools, the director of the Oregon Department of Education says individual school districts will make the final call about whether or not to drop masking.
Our school districts need to have thoughtful conversations about the impacts of moving away from universal masking and what that will look like for every individual that they serve. They also need time to talk to their staff and make sure that those staff feel comfortable interacting with dozens of students and individuals every single day. They need to have discussions with their community.
We hope that districts will look at their calendar when spring breaks occur, when people may be coming back, and if they anticipate some increased spread then, that they may continue a mask requirement or make their changes with that in mind.
While the decision to mask or not mask is up to the districts, state officials made it very clear masking is still the best way to keep kids in school. Well, plans to get the COVID vaccine to kids younger than 5 are now delayed. This week, Pfizer postponed its FDA application to expand use of its vaccine to kids as young as 6 months. The company says it needs more data. It's currently testing whether 3 doses of the vaccine may be most effective for this age group. That data is expected in early April. Earlier data showed that 2 doses did not generate a strong enough immune response in kids ages 2 to 4.
But it is a crisis. It is an absolute crisis, and it requires a major response.
A new memo from Portland Mayor Ted Wheeler's office details a big idea to try to help in Portland's homeless crisis. The idea is to create 3 large shelter sites that could house 1,000 people each. The goal is to end the need for unsanctioned camps throughout the city. Alma McCarty got a copy of the memo from former Portland mayor and current advisor Sam Adams.
The memo from the mayor's office describes a worsening homeless situation. From the more than 78,000 houselessness-related complaints last year to recent community polls, which show the many surveyed don't believe current efforts are working in Portland. Those points from advisor Sam Adams are followed by some big ideas on how the state, Multnomah County, Metro, and the city of Portland can address what is deemed a crisis and emergency disaster.
This requires an emergency response. Just like, how we respond to forest fires, we are in the midst of a humanitarian crisis.
Jason Christensen, executive director of Union Gospel Mission, read through the memo Friday. He believes the outcome priorities are good ones.
Creating shelter for the houseless was one of them. Ending the need for unsanctioned camps. If we can get these places set up, we can eliminate that need and place them in there.
The memo lists some primary goals. Create shelter space for 3,000 homeless residents. Meet face-to-face with every unhoused person in Portland who has lived in the city for at least a year to offer them shelter. End the need for unsanctioned houseless camps and clean up public spaces. The memo notes a phased-in launch over 3 years.
We go out into the camps and we engage with people and we see how they are living in their tents. It's inhumane. There's no other word for it. It's inhumane, and people deserve to live better than that. I think that people want to see something done to the benefit of those that are experiencing houselessness.
This preliminary proposal drew criticism from Portland City Council. Commissioners Rubio and Hardesty tweeting that it's a non-starter. Commissioner Ryan's team said he remains opposed to the concept of mass encampments with inadequate services, and he supports a trauma-informed approach toward houselessness in Portland.
Now, the memo suggests the shelters be staffed by unarmed National Guard members and PSU social work graduate students, and that those shelters be built in areas near light rail, MAX, and frequent bus service. You can find the full memo up now at KGW.com. Well, the Portland Timbers have terminated the contract of player Andy Polo. This comes after accusations of domestic abuse surfaced. Earlier this week, Polo's former partner spoke on a Peruvian television program saying Polo was physically and emotionally abusive. A Washington County police report shows Polo was also cited last May after an argument got physical. The Timbers knew about that incident but did not do anything about it.
And they really don't talk about any of this stuff. The fact that it did come to this point, that she needs to go to the media for it to become an issue and them to do the right thing. I can tell you, I speak for not only myself, but a lot of other people that I know. This is hitting them really, really hard.
In a statement, the club apologized for not immediately suspending Polo, saying, quote, "It was a failure on our part and one that will never happen again." Andy Polo called the allegations unsubstantiated.